What is up, everybody? Jeremy Icenfire here, and welcome back to the channel. Well, here we are, folks. We are at the halfway point of Season 2 of From, and the dreaded 6th episode is just around the corner now, a mere few days away. And from all intensive purposes, from everything we've heard from some of the cast and crew, Episode 6 is going to be the scariest episode that we have seen yet. And we should be getting at least some answers. And according to Harold Perrineau, the actor playing Sheriff Boyd on the show, next week everything changes. So I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us. It seems like there's going to be a big revelation coming, and I cannot wait to find out what that is. The upcoming Episode 6 title, which I am not going to even attempt to pronounce, seems to be a French ballet term for step of two, or a duet where two dancers, typically male and female, perform steps together. And the episode synopsis is pretty interesting as well. It reads, "Tensions run high at Colony House when word of an incoming food shortage leaks out. And a night at the clinic takes a terrifying turn." And that is what I'm really looking forward to seeing, because if you look at some of the leaked photos for episode 6, you can clearly see a photo of Boyd, Christy, her fiancé, Kenny, and Fatima. And it looks like at least Boyd and Fatima are covered in blood. So I'm really worrying for Ellis at this moment. I hope our boy Ellis is okay. The trailer starts off with Boyd talking to Tien Chen, Kenny's mother. Now, Kenny's mother, of course, is still upset with Sarah being back, and I feel like she had a really good performance in episode 5. They gave her some really good dialogue, and just her body language alone was just really conveying the hurt that she was going through seeing Sarah. Knowing that she treated Sarah like a daughter practically, and seeing what Sarah did, it was a really emotional scene. And Boyd says to Tien Chen that he knows exactly what you're feeling. He knows how it feels to have this place take someone away from you that you love. As we saw in Season 1, the place clearly got to Boyd's wife, Abby, and caused her to do some really dark things, and Boyd unfortunately had to end up killing her to save their son Ellis. So Boyd knows exactly what this place can do to people, and the loss that can come with it. Next, we see that the food shortage is really starting to amp things up. Now, we saw in previous episode that the storm at the end of Season 1 really destroyed a big portion of the crops that they were growing up at Colony House and in the town. So the food shortage is definitely looking dire right now, which is only going to lead to even more desperation and some pretty bonehead moves, I would imagine. People do some very dangerous and stupid things when they are desperate. And it looks like we see in the background here, we have the return of the pocket dimension guy, which we haven't seen since Season 1, which is really cool to see him still floating around. But here we see Ellis, what looks to be packing up the remainder of the food and loading it into a truck. It looks like they are going to have to start rationing, I would imagine. And we hear Jim talk about his experiment theory, saying that this is exactly what they would want to do, increase the stress levels, if this was an experiment, which Jim seems to think that it might be. And it looks like Jim is really going to start to investigate a little bit more into this experiment theory. It seems like at least Jim, Jade, and a few of the other characters are at least starting to ask some of the right questions. Next, the trailer cuts to Fatima and Ellis up at Colony House, and Fatima is telling Ellis that Boyd put everybody in danger by bringing Sarah back to the town. And Ellis is just trying to stick up for Boyd and saying that he didn't have a choice. And you can really see the difference in the relationship between Boyd and Ellis in Season 2 compared to Season 1. In Season 1, Boyd and Ellis were very much at odds all the time. They were always butting heads. Ellis clearly hadn't forgiven Boyd about what happened between Abby and Boyd, obviously. But in Season 2, they seem to be in a much better place. It seems like Ellis is finally coming to terms with what Boyd had to do. And I imagine it was pretty weighing on Ellis, too, knowing that Boyd had to kind of kill his mother to save him. So I can only imagine the baggage that Ellis himself was carrying around in Season 1, partially probably feeling responsible for the death of his mother. But next, the trailer ends off with Boyd up at the medical clinic, and he is talking to Christy, and it seems like he is finally at least telling someone else about these worms that he is infected with. And he basically just has Christy promise him that she will put an end to things if things get too far. Boyd is clearly anticipating that he might get a lot worse before he gets better, and if he ever gets to a point where he becomes a danger to himself or to the town, it seems like he just wants this contingency plan in place just in case he ever does get out of control. Christy couldn't be there to end it. And I imagine all of this is taking place right before whatever big event is about to happens, because it seems like the medical clinic is where this big event is going to take place in episode 6. But let me know down in the comment section below, what big event do you think is going to be coming in episode 6, and will all of our characters make it out alive? And if not, who do you think could be on the chopping block in episode 6? I myself am really worried about Ellis. I really hope he makes it through. I'm a little bit worried about him though. It just seems like right when everything is starting to go a little bit better for Ellis, they could probably pull the rug right from under our feet and take that character away from us. He and Boyd are finally in a better place getting along. He and Fatima are about to get married. So I could imagine just when things are going right is when they could take a awesome character like Ellis off the board. But I hope that's not the case. I do also potentially think we could maybe meet something we haven't seen on the show before, a new monster, a new third party, or something of the sort, because if you look ahead to the synopsis for the following episode, episode 7, it is very interesting, and the episode is called Belly of the Beast, and it reads, Boyd and Christy seek to capitalize on a new discovery, and Jim finds an unlikely ally in the volatile Randall. So it's looking like episode 7 is going to be just as intense as episode 6 maybe, so I'm really looking forward to these next two. But let me know down in the comment section, what big event do you think is coming? I see a lot of people thinking that someone is going to potentially kill or hurt a monster. I know a lot of people think Randall is gearing up to go on the offensive, so definitely let me know what you think is going to happen down below. One thing I do know we are going to see again at some point in Season 2, and light potential spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen any of the inside the episodes that they play after the trailers every week. This week we see them building a smaller version of the lighthouse that we see at the end of Season 1. So it looks like the lighthouse is going to make another appearance, and it looks like they build a smaller version, and they're only building the base of it and a door to it. So it looks like we could potentially have someone entering this lighthouse at some point in Season 2. And on a complete side note, we haven't seen the boy in white at all in Season 2 at all. Where is the boy in white? What is he up to? He was pretty active in Season 1 in helping our survivors from time to time, but we haven't seen him at all in Season 2. Let me know down below, where do you think the boy in white is, and will we see him again soon? But that is going to do it for this Episode 6 trailer breakdown and predictions. Don't forget to come and hang out with us live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live after show, where we dive into the latest episodes and discuss the show's deepest mysteries. And don't forget to hit that like on your way out, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit that bell for notifications, as we will be covering all things From going forward. And as always, I want to thank everybody out there for watching, and we will see you on the next one.